What if the most important beat you ever produce isn't in a studio, but is the rhythm of your own heart, still pounding, still fighting, decades after the world said your time was up? What if your greatest masterpiece isn't a platinum record, but the simple, profound act of rebuilding the very instrument that creates them? This is the story of a man who defined the sound of a generation, only to find himself decades later in a silent battle for the sound of his own heartbeat. His name is Andre Young, Dr. Dre. And at 59 years old, he is proving that true greatness doesn't age. It refines, it evolves, it transforms. This isn't a comeback story. This is a recalibration of a legend. The world remembers the images. The Compton chronicler, the NW, a revolutionary staring down the lens with defiant intensity. The billionaire producer, arms crossed, presiding over an empire built from beats by Dr. But there is another image, one the world never saw. The man lying in a hospital bed in 2021, struck by a brain aneurysm. The very mind that orchestrated symphonies from the streets of Los Angeles was under attack from within. For an artist whose genius lives in the intricate, delicate wiring of his brain, this was the ultimate violation. The meticulous control he exerted over every snare hit, every bass line, every artist's career, it was rendered meaningless against this internal biological rebellion. He wasn't just fighting for his life. He was fighting for his creative soul, for the very source of his genius. And when he emerged from that battle, gaunt and humbled, he made a quiet, monumental decision. He would not just recover, he would rebuild. He would apply the same obsessive, perfectionist ethos he reserved for his legendary mixes to his own body, to his own health. The SSL console was swapped for a weight rack. The late-night studio sessions fueled by takeout were replaced by early morning training sessions fueled by purpose. The man who once spent days searching for the perfect snare sound was now searching for the perfect form on a deadlift. The architect of sound became the architect of his own survival. His approach to this transformation was pure Dre, meticulous, disciplined, and uncompromising. He understood that his body was now his most valuable instrument, and it required the same level of engineering as a classic track. He hired a team of elite trainers and nutritionists, not as motivational cheerleaders, but as sound engineers for his physique. Every movement was analyzed for form and function, every exercise programmed for a specific result. Every meal was macronutrient measured fuel, designed not for fleeting pleasure, but for peak performance and cellular repair. This was not about getting ripped for a magazine cover or a movie role. This was about building a biological fortress. It was about creating a vessel resilient enough to protect the priceless, irreplaceable mind it housed. The same ear that could isolate a single flawed frequency in a dense, multi-layered mix was now tuned inward, listening with profound attention to the feedback of his own physiology. The strain of a muscle under load, the expanding capacity of his lungs, the critical rhythm of his sleep. This was the ultimate mix, and his life was the master recording. His training floor became his new studio. Where he once layered kick drums, synth melodies, and vocal tracks, he now layered compound movements, functional exercises, and endurance work. The heavy foundational baseline of his workout was the deadlift and the squat, building a powerful, stable core from the ground up. The sharp, defining hi-hats were the explosive push-ups, the battle ropes, and the precise shoulder presses that carved definition and power. Every set was a verse, building toward a chorus of fatigue and triumph. Every rep was a bar, a unit of progress in the relentless track of his discipline. And the final mix, the completed album, was a physique that was lean, powerful, dense with functional muscle, and shockingly capable. He found a new kind of rhythm in the grind, a different kind of flow state in the searing burn of a final, grueling rep. The studio had taught him the virtues of patience and relentless repetition, the willingness to loop a 2-bar section 100 times until it was flawless. The gym demanded the exact same ethos. There were no shortcuts, no auto-tune for weakness, no studio magic to cover for a lack of fundamentals. Just the raw, honest, uncompromising work of showing up and doing the reps day after day, until the body itself became a testament to will. But the physical metamorphosis, the chiseled shoulders, the defined arms, the vibrant energy that radiates from him today, was only the outward expression of a deeper, quieter mental revolution. The aneurysm had forced a profound and permanent perspective shift. The relentless pursuit of more money, more hits, more influence, more accolades, was replaced by the focused pursuit of better health, better mental clarity, better longevity, better moments. The man who famously declared, "I'm not a businessman, I's a businessman," now had to make the most important investment of his life, in himself. The intense discipline and focus required to craft The Chronic, or 2001, was the exact same discipline he now channeled into his wellness. The visionary who could spot the raw, diamond-in-the-rough talent in a young Eminem or 50 Cent was now using that same visionary gift to see a future version of himself, stronger, healthier, more present, and more at peace. He was no longer just building a legacy for hip-hop. He was actively building a legacy of presence for his family, for his own future. His transformation sends a seismic message that ripples far beyond the world of music or entertainment. In a youth-obsessed culture that often equates disruption with the young, Dr. Dre stands as a monument to the power of mature mastery. He demonstrates with silent, powerful evidence that the peak of your physical potential doesn't have to be a relic buried in your past. That the focus, the drive, the strategic intelligence, and the sheer will, honed over a long and brutal career, can be the very tools you use to conquer a completely new domain, the domain of your own well-being. His greatness didn't diminish with age. It didn't fade. It simply found a new, more personal medium. The same genius that could arrange a symphony of street narratives into a cohesive, world-changing album could now orchestrate the complex, interconnected systems of his own biology. So the next time you see him, whether in a rare photo looking lean, focused, and intensely present, or in a studio session for his next project, radiating a calm, powerful, and assured energy, understand what you are truly witnessing. You are not looking at an older Dr. Dre. You are looking at a refined, remastered, and definitive version. The beard may be gray, but the fire in his eyes is sharper, brighter, and more controlled than ever. The body is not a testament to vanity, but to a renewed will to live and create. It is the physical proof of a mind that refuses to be defined by its past glory or its past struggles, a mind that treats every new day as a blank slate, a new track waiting for its first beat. He took the greatest, most frightening hit of his life, and he didn't just survive it. He sampled it. He flipped it. He slowed it down, examined its components, and built something entirely new from its parts. He turned his moment of greatest vulnerability into the powerful, driving foundation of his next anthem, the unstoppable, undeniable anthem of his own resilience,